Thanks for being here for another episode of Welcome Disruption. Today we're joined by Courtney Allen of Benevilla, whose innovative programs have been transforming the lives of seniors in her community through adaptive fitness, Parkinson-specific support, and adult day services, in addition to intergenerational daycare. You won't want to miss this. Hello, Courtney. I am so excited to be with you here today. Courtney and I actually met coming back to the hotel, Leading Age Nashville, and she shared a little bit about Benevilla, and I just fell in love. And I am super excited to get to share your story. So you've been there since 2006, right?
Correct. Yep. So, I'm about to hit my 18th year next month.
Wow, 18 years. So what inspired you to join? And then what's kept you engaged all this time?
Yeah, so when I graduated with my master's, I had decided I wanted to work with seniors. So I moved back to Arizona, where I was originally from, because that seems to be the prime spot for seniors. And I found Benevilla, and I started out as an activity therapist in one of our licensed adult day programs, and I just absolutely fell in love. Benevilla is kind of a place where they've got this culture of a home. And we're always focusing on doing what we do for the community in the same way that we want to do it for each other and for our staff and volunteers. And I think that's what's kept me here is it is a family, it's a community, it's a culture, and we're doing amazing things for these individuals in our community and helping them stay independent as long as possible and helping them age in place. And then what we'll talk about more is also having the child care program and our intergenerational program. So it's a great place to work. It's helping so many in our community, and every day I see a new thing that we're doing for, even if it's for one person, it makes such a big difference. So that's why I've continued to stay here.
18 years and all of that meaningful work. Yeah, the conversation that got us hooked was intergenerational. And I was sharing that was a 2025 mega trend that senior living really needs to be paying attention to, and that we've been talking about it Adage for about 4 years now as something that is just so heartfelt and meaningful to the residents and to the children or young adults who come in to connect with us. So you mentioned how you impact lives, and I know it's such an incredible story. So can you share all of the different types of programs that you offer at Benevilla to help people age in place, which is also a huge meta trend for 2025?
Absolutely. So one of our big services is we have licensed adult day programs. So we have 3 licensed adult day programs, and they have very unique populations that they serve. So one is Lucy Ann's Place, and that's beginning to moderate stages of dementia, Alzheimer's, stroke survivors, and Parkinson's. Then we've got one called Mary's Place that's more of the moderate to late stages, and it's a dementia-specific program. And then we have West Valley that really is kind of a mixture of all those populations, and any individuals in our community that need the socialization, their families might need the respite. They might have a son or daughter still caring for them, and they might be working full time. And so all 3 of those programs are licensed through the state of Arizona, and we are CARF accredited, which is the Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. And we are dementia specific. So we go way above and beyond the state standards and meet all of the best well-known practices in the country for adult day services for aging. We built this campus in 2009, our main campus, and we had never run a child care before that, but we wanted to do the intergenerational aspect. So we did open up a child care, and we serve 6 weeks to 5 years old. It's a licensed child care like any other ones in your community, like maybe a tutor time. The families have the opportunity to do intergenerational. And if they don't want to, that's totally fine. Very, very rarely do families not want to do intergenerational. But every single day from 10 to 11, we have 2 different groups that go in and do different activities. We have an intergenerational garden. We have an intergenerational room that has baking and cooking stuff. They do creative arts, and they do plays and have Santa come in, and they do parades and all kinds of fun stuff. So we do that every single day with 2 different groups. And they're smaller groups. They're 5 to 10 kids at a time and 5 to 10 seniors at a time who want to interact with them. So it's really been a cool concept. We also have on our main campus, it's been open for about 2 years. It's another unique program that's called Benefitness Adaptive Gym. And it's a gym for anybody with an ability over 18 years old. And so all of our equipment is adaptive. We do group classes there. And it's really to help our individuals and our members that come in feel part of that community and not have to go to a big box gym and feel uncomfortable not knowing what they're doing or needing somebody to help them through things. We also offer Rock Steady Boxing there. We have a whole boxing room, which is Rock Steady Boxing is for those with Parkinson's. It's an evidence-based program. So we do that. We do personal training. We do assisted stretch. We have the smart glove and the smart board. So it really gives that opportunity for anybody with an ability. And then the upstairs has a caregiver relaxation area. So we have massage chairs and water, a feature up there. And it's just a nice place to go kind of relax while their loved one is working out. We also have a CARES department, which is community assistance, resource, education, and support. And that's kind of like an intake and referral department. So anybody in our area that has needs resources for their senior in their home or their family, they can call us and we're going to help guide them. We also provide free educational events to the community, free support groups to the community. We also have our own kitchen on site, so we're able to cook all our food for our child care program and for our adult day programs to provide that high quality food that comes out every single day. We have a whole volunteer department because we are in the area of the Sun Cities, which is the cities of volunteering. And so we could not run the stuff we do without them. One of the departments that's run very heavily by them is our home services department. And that's a free department for anybody who's homebound or disabled in the Northwest Valley. And we have volunteers that go help them do grocery shopping, transport them to medical appointments, do business assistance. So maybe they haven't went through their mail for 2 months and we can go in and help them with that. We have light handyman where we have volunteers that go in and help change light bulbs and air filters. So that's a completely free, non-revenue generating program that our volunteers, we literally could not do without them. We just, over Christmas, we just adopted about 100 seniors in our community, and we did a Santa for a Senior drive, and then we had volunteers go out and deliver all of the, they did food bags that we were able to give with grant money. And then it was so heartwarming, Adrienne, like the things on these tags that these seniors wanted was just a warm pair of pajamas. One person just wanted Costco or Sam's toilet paper. One person wanted cookies and fruit, a fruit cake. So just little stuff that we all take for granted. And they were all so thankful that we did that. So we have a lot of moving pieces here at Benevilla, as you can tell. And so I could go on and on and on about all of our programs. So that's kind of the overview of it.
And the Santa, Senior Santa story just reminds me, you know, when I was a foster parent and involved with supporting foster agencies, the needs and expectations of people are really a lot lower in some cases. In terms of the need for human connection, the need for safety, the need for basic conveniences. And I think that the fact that it's volunteer driven is maybe the most meaningful part of it, but the fact that it's so life touching, whether when I think about all of the services and products and support that Benevilla offers, whether it's I can look at 3 families in my mind. You know, a couple with Parkinson's for one spouse and one that's recovering from a hip fall, and the way that you can support them. I think of a woman who has children and is caring for her father with dementia at the same time. The sandwich generation is no joke. So the fact, you know, the newly diagnosed family who's coming to an informational session and then ultimately gets the support that they need. It's incredible to me. I am sure that, you know, your referral program is very supportive as well to keep the word out about all of the incredible things that you do to support the community.
Yeah, and Adrienne, since we are meeting after the holidays, so my kids are 11 and 13. They are 2 girls, and they went to the child care here because I worked at Benevilla. And so I've always had them very involved with the agency, and we've done home service volunteering and everything. And we had some members that lived kind of further from where we're located. So I offered for me and my kids to go deliver those. And if you go to the Benevilla Facebook, you'll see, because I was actually able to take pictures, but we went and delivered 4 different people for their holiday gifts. 2 of these ladies had cookies ready for the girls. 2 of them asked if we could come back and spend more time with them. Most of them cried when we got there, and they were getting, just a pajama or just some slippers. And, it took a little over 4 hours to do those 4 individuals, and 2 of them lived in the same home. But the impact that we saw with those individuals, even though my kids were like, "Oh, Mom, you're off work. Why are we doing this?" When we left and we're headed home, they were like, "Thank you, Mom, for having us do this. Like, I can't believe how happy they were to see us." And those are the types of things that we literally made their Christmas, to the point that my 11-year-old in one of the homes, Adrian, she asked me, she whispered, she goes, "What is that on the counter?" And I looked, and it was a house phone. It was a house cordless phone. And she had no clue what it was. And so I was like, "Ask him." And it just opened up this conversation for him to explain. And she's like, "Well, can I video on it?" And he's like, "No, you cannot do that." But it was a whole, we were there for 15, 20 minutes just talking, and getting to know him. And he was explaining this. And so you're right. It's that sandwich generation. And so that's what we're trying to do, is make sure the families in our community know that we're here. So when they do need our services, they know where we're at.
For sure. I've always been a proponent of digital first my entire career, even though my start out was in media and direct marketing. But it's so funny you bring up the telephone. For us, the buying journey for my grandfather moving into assisted living hinged on, during our tour, they were having toddlers and tunes kind of engagement activity hosted at the community. It wasn't produced by the community. It was just being hosted there, and all of the residents were lined up to watch it. And my grandfather, in his later years, my son was the light of his life. He would just light up. He would say, "Where's the big guy?" And so when we would go visit, and my mom took him regularly, I took him regularly. I'm grateful that my kids are comfortable in those environments. It was important to me. I remember visiting my great-grandmother at the nursing home when I was little. And so when we would go visit, my son would go to the common area, and there was a little desk and like office set up by the library, and he would sit and play with the phone. That was, but he would walk in like the mayor, and greet everyone so warmly with his little baby chubby cheeks. But it was the phone that got his attention, even as a small child.
Yes, and then it opened up, we started talking about phone books, and they were like, "What's a phone book?" And so I'm like, we're trying to explain that. And so in a lot of our families at Worthy's, they do say that, this with doing the intergenerational, it really helps open up that comfortability for their kids when they see seniors out in the community. And a lot of these seniors, a lot of their families don't live out here. This is the retirement state, so they don't always have family close. So having that interaction, and the kids call them grandmas and grandpas. And so it just brings this family culture every time they get together.
Wow, that is so reinforcing. So do you have any specific projects or initiatives? I know you're constantly evolving to match the needs and demands.
We do.
But tell me what you're on.
So how our agency is kind of set up right now is we really have always focused to have that continuum of care for our seniors. So we may have somebody that starts out at Benefitness and is trying to get stronger, and maybe does have Parkinson's or a stroke survivor, or does get a dementia of some sort. And then they can enroll into our adult day programs. And then in our adult day programs, if they attend our Luciennes or our West Valley program, if they start to advance in their journey of dementia, we then have Mary's Place, which is a secured facility. It's not a locked facility, but it's a secured facility, so they can go there. And a lot of times, those individuals stay at Luciennes until the family no longer can care for them at home, and they need to get placed, and/or they pass away. But we've heard over the years, over and over, "Man, I wish you guys had an overnight stay, because we know your staff, we know your culture." And so we're in the silent phase of a capital campaign for memory care assisted living that's coming down the road. And so our president and CEO, Joanne Thompson, has been with the agency for about 18 years as well. And she has had this vision since she has gotten into this role many years ago. And so it's all coming to life now. And one really cool thing, Adrian, is where our childcare is on our main campus, they have a big playground, obviously. It's actually going to back up to the playground, so it will incorporate the intergenerational program for both the memory care and assisted living. So it's actually going to be a 40-unit memory care and a 40-unit assisted living. And our committee and our president and CEO, Joanne Byers, has really, really tried to think about what is the best way to provide the greatest service to the community. So in our memory care, we're going to have like an actual train like in part of it. And so the members can go in, and let's say they're from Europe or they used to travel to Europe a lot. We can turn on Europe and they can bring back those reminiscing and those memories. Our assisted living is going to have a dog park and a sports bar and some outdoor areas for, you know, outdoor games. And so it's very exciting as we move into that. We're in the very beginning stages of it, but we're very excited. And that will really put our full continuum of care from beginning of needing our services till the end. And so we're super excited.
That is incredible. I feel like you've just given a master class to all of the recommendations I've given to my memory care and assisted living partners over the years, clients, that bring in the intergenerational program, even if it's just hosting the event. Find a way to leverage your outdoor areas so that visits between family members and or activities can take place outside. You know, the idea of starting with community education and offering that as an intake to the process and the experience and the family culture that you have. I believe that respite is one of the keys to helping families cope when they're struggling and they're really working towards aging in place for as long as they can. And the overnight stays are sometimes the most supportive and impactful. A good night's sleep can change a person's whole life. And the lack thereof can also have an incredibly negative impact. So I think it's huge, the respite component that you're bringing in, and then to see that, you know, bringing together couples that have differing levels of needs has always been something that when we've had either standalone memory care or standalone assisted living, that we've tried to find a way to work through. So I think this is just incredible. I am so grateful for our time together, Courtney. Thank you for sharing what Benevilla has been up to. Where can our audience find you if they have questions or they want to learn more about your model?
Yeah, so you can go to www.benevilla.org, and that's our main website. And then Benefitness has its own website, which is www.benefitness.org. But also we're on social media, and so we always try to keep everybody updated on there. And we also do have videos on YouTube. If you haven't seen the intergenerational aspect, we have some really cool videos on there. We were actually featured on PBS last year. They reached out to us, and we were one of 3 intergenerational programs that they created a segment on. And there was 2 in Arizona and 1 in, I think, Seattle. And so we do have a lot of people that reach out to us about intergenerational, and we're continuing to try to expand that to the point. We didn't always do it with the infants, but we do now. So we even have the little babies. We have a buggy that they fit in, and they can walk around and go see the grandmas and grandpas. And we're also incorporating another unique thing is that our Benefitness Adaptive Gym, our trained trainers and coaches. We have a coach that goes over to Wurtzies once a week and does an exercise fitness group with the kiddos. So we're trying to incorporate that fitness literacy at a young age as well. So we really try to connect all pieces. But you can definitely find us on social media or go to our website.
That is so fantastic. I love the physical literacy and fitness literacy as a concept for children and making it adaptive the whole way through. We'll make sure to include the PBS link in the description on the YouTube. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much, Adrienne.